I think we got time for one more on your list. I'm glad because I wanted to talk about this guy.
Good.
Number 11, who was third on your list last year. He dropped all the way to 11. He is
Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles. Right. I mean, apparently the second leading candidate for an MVP this year.
Your dark horse.
My dark horse at number 11. But, you know, again, okay, just to clarify with when I had him number 3, I made that list up the year he was about to be the MVP of football. I probably made the list up, that original one, about 2 weeks before he tore his ACL. It was right around that time period. Okay. So he was absolutely, without a doubt, just kicking butt at that point. Now, there's the thing with Carson Wentz and why he's number 11. It's really availability is the number one reason he's number 11. The talent is top 5 talent. The talent to carry a team, you know, make plays off schedule, scramble, run, throws on the run, stand in the pocket. He can do all of those things. I've made the comparison many times. He's really, to me, a little bit more physically gifted version of Andrew Luck. That's how I look at Carson Wentz. But now, hey, when you hear about the things, a little bit about the leadership and, you know, how the team perceives him in the offseason. And, of course, the injury thing has to play into the rankings here and what he's doing. I don't know exactly, you know, what he is or where his mind is at this point.
Well, don't you think the injury thing may affect his leadership? It's like, how do you lead a team if you're not out? They win a Super Bowl without you. How do you really be a leader in that environment?
You're definitely. I think that's a valid point. You're right because, yeah, you're not out there. You're not available. And now you're not able to lead the team in some of the most crucial moments of the year. And, yeah, we're not sure about that aspect of him. You know, I don't have questions. The one thing I'll say about the play last year, and a lot of people look at it and just go, well, Nick Foles came in and they won games. And when Carson Wentz was in there, they weren't that great. Okay, I get that. But, you know, people forget that, like, you know, Nick Foles started the season out 1-1. And the one win was the opener against the Atlanta Falcons. He didn't play good. They won, but he had, like, horrible stats. He didn't play good. Yeah. And then they went down to Tampa Bay and lost that game, you know, handedly to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this is a team that was kind of in Strugglesville, Super Bowl hangover early in the year. Then they got banged up. Carson Wentz came in. There was offensive line injuries. Guys on defense got hurt. Running backs banged up. No Darren Sproles. Had all these issues. They were kind of trying to figure themselves out. And really, by the time they started to figure out how they wanted to play, Carson Wentz got hurt. Nick Foles came in and took over. And we all just went, well, they made one change, and it seems like everything was different. And no, there was a lot of things that went on there. Now, I do think that the Eagles, you know, get too enamored with Carson Wentz's ability at times. This is one of my things that I even yelled at on TV last year at the Eagles, and when Nick Foles took over, I just went, why weren't we doing some of these things when Carson Wentz is the quarterback? Why weren't we being more patient with the run game? Where were some of these play action passes? Right. And I felt like at times last year they let Carson Wentz have a little bit too much of the run of the roost. You call the play at the line of scrimmage, and, you know, he'd get them in the right play, and it'd be, you know, a 4-yard completion over the middle to Zach Ertz. Got a little Charlie check down-ish, and I think they also got away from what made them as a team really good offensively because they were enamored by his smarts and physical ability. They were just going to be, we're going to throw it and let him make plays.
Right.
And that's not what they're built to do.
They protected Nick Foles, and you feel like maybe they should have protected Carson Wentz.
Yes, exactly right. And it's not even about protecting. They just, with Nick Foles, they played to their strengths as a team.
Sure.
With Carson Wentz, they just went, we'll just play to Carson Wentz and he'll make it happen. And that does happen in the NFL. Ahmed, it happened to me. I've seen it happen to other guys when I was on the roster where the starter's playing and you're running this offense, and now the starter gets hurt and the backup's in, and everybody feels the pressure of, we got to help the backup, right? And all of a sudden the coordinator designs 20 new plays, and you're sitting there as the guy that just got hurt as a starter going, where the were these plays that I was playing?
Yeah.
I mean, if we did this, I probably wouldn't have been hurt, or I'd still be playing. He wouldn't have benched me.
Yeah.
And that does happen in the NFL. Hey, we got to help this guy out. And the starter who's got all the talent, we just go, we don't need to help him out. He'll figure it out. We just run those same plays we ran in July, and he'll make it happen. And it's just not that easy all the time.
And other players probably feel empowered, too. It's like, hey, we're going to have to lean on you a little bit more. To your running back, to your offensive line. We got to lean on you a little bit more.
Exactly right.
Like, okay,
we're going to design more for you for you to do it. Right. You know, a wide receiver, we're going to give you a few plays that are just easy completions. Yeah, great. That should be being done no matter what. That's what they do for Tom Brady and Drew Brees already every week. And I think sometimes that gets lost with some of the more talented quarterbacks.
If I was to tell you, because Carson Wentz, this goes back to, he broke his throwing wrist his senior year at North Dakota State. So he's had injuries basically every year. Last year with back spasms. Before that with the ACL. Hairline fracture in his ribs in 2016, his rookie year. So if I was to tell you Carson Wentz will not get hurt ever again, he's never going to get hurt again, where would he be on your list? If injury was not a concern for you, how high do you think you would be on your list right now?
He's right there, fringe top 5-ish. If I got to see a year or two of just, he played, he's healthy, because he's that kind of guy. Like I said, I view him as a more talented Andrew Luck. And I really do think he is going to have a big-time year this year. I just would be shocked. I just think there is too much talent, and I can tell. And anybody who wants to go look it up, this was always my concern with Carson Wentz. If anybody wants to go look up one of my old Bleacher Report videos when Carson Wentz was coming out, I said I have no concerns about Carson Wentz, the player. My only concern ever about him was staying healthy, because it showed at North Dakota State. He played a style of football that you just went, he doesn't know when to give up on a play. He's so physically gifted that he's never had to worry about it. But you do have to worry about it once you get into big-time football, because there's just, animals on the field, for lack of a better phrase, who are you haven't seen. I'm sorry, they weren't in North Dakota high school ball, and now you get to the NFL and you go, well, my whole life I've been dragging around a defensive tackle when he's on my back. Well.
He was 170.
Exactly. Fletcher Cox is a little different than the way they grew him out in North Dakota State. So sorry, and your knee's going to blow out, or you're going to break a rib if you think you're going to sit there and do that.
They gave him money. They gave him that
because they believe in the
extension.
Talent.
They're hoping. They're hoping he stays healthy. They see the talent. You're right. They see the talent. They're hoping he can stay healthy. No one knows. No one knows for sure if you can. And some of it may be random. Some of it may be just like you say, not knowing when to get down.
Had some moments last year of forcing the issue too. There were certain where I felt like they got down. At the Saints game, that would be one that jumps out to me. They got down. They're not playing good. He just throws a bomb post down the middle of the field. It's double coverage. I mean, it looked pretty, and damn, it went off the screen, and it looked like you launched it good. But he let the situation panic him into some bad decisions and bad moments, I thought, during the year too, which is also, let alone that with the injury stuff, is why I got him at 11. But hey, guy's got a top 5 talent and top 5 potential to be there on a consistent basis.
I hope he can stay healthy too.
Me too. I'm rooting for Carson Wentz big time.
While I was researching him, I did. I went deep on his North Dakota State career. I was curious about it, because you just don't hear about it. Right? You just don't hear about players, period, coming from North Dakota State.
Right. Even though they've had more players drafted in the draft than Texas has the last 6 years.
That.
Can you believe that? Yeah, which is embarrassing.
So he was not a 4-year starter there.
No. Was it just a 2-year?
2-year starter. Right. Played behind Brock Jensen, the legendary Brock Jensen, who actually is legendary there.
He is there, right, because they won, 3 national championships?
3 national titles. Right. Brock Jensen signed with the Dolphins as an undrafted free agent, played 4 games in the CFL for the Ottawa Red Blacks. They won the Grey Cup that year.
Wow.
This guy's a known winner. And now he's at Edward Jones Financial Advising Company in Minnesota. Wow. Probably winning again.
Winning?
I went deep. I told you I went deep on this.
Good for you, though. Well, and you know what? We're going to go deeper on Carson Wentz as the week goes on, too, because I'm going to do a little bit of a quarterback school, some of these social videos I've been doing, just to show little nuances and mechanics of quarterbacks, things that jump out to me. Carson Wentz has a few things, too, mechanically, that I think could be cleaned up or minutely scary to me a little bit. Yeah. One thing I've always heard about him, and I heard this from people even in college, that he has had some elbow issues throwing the ball. He wears a sleeve on his throwing elbow. Now, a lot of quarterbacks do that because it looks cool. Allen Iverson started that. But I do have the sense, just from hearing from people in Philly and college, that there is something he has to manage there. And I'll get into that a little bit. He does put a lot of stress and torque on his elbow, and I am going to make a little video about showing what he does there that causes some of those issues.
You know what I have to say about that?
What do you got to say?
You can't change your throwing style. You can't do. Mike Florio taught me that.
He taught you that?
Yeah, he taught me that.
I hopefully taught him the other way around. Well, and that's another good conversation just for people who don't watch PFT or do that. You can definitely change a guy's throwing style. Now, why it gets publicized that you can't, and I heard radio and TV people all last week, and the example they always give is Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
And I want to go, but wait, Guys who can't throw, it's very hard to change them because they could never throw. So there's an issue there. But Aaron Rodgers changed his motion at the start of his NFL career. I mean, he did it. Why? Because he was naturally gifted to do it anyways, and he had some of the core principles to be a good thrower to go along with it. He was natural, so he can make some tweaks. Tom Brady's done it. There's been a number of guys do it. And sometimes guys do it, and people just don't have enough of a well-trained eye or not schooled.
It's very subtle.
It's very subtle to where you might not even know if we sat down in front of a TV screen and I pointed out and said, hey, look, he's holding the ball lower. He's doing this with his shoulder. And you go, damn, you're right. He did change this type of stuff to where I just don't think, everybody realizes it all the time.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.